What is going on? I am Cole. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're here, I bet you are ready for this Bearded and Cole's comic cover challenge. This month, we're doing our favorite villain covers. So if you're ready to see what I picked, make sure you stick around after this intro.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks, son. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son. Snapping.
All right, and thank you for tuning in. For those of you who have not been here before, or those of you who would just like a rules recap, that's what we're doing here. So first off, all of these 10 covers need to have 1, a villain on them, 2, you own them in your collection, and 3, you like the book. It's pretty easy. The rules come as we go. You don't technically even have to like the book. You just have to like the cover. So those are the rules. If you want to jump in, we would love to have you be a part of this. Just make sure you tag either Bearded or I on Instagram. Let us know, just let us know it's coming out, and we will add you to the playlist, which will be down below. And we just love seeing what you, the community, have to offer in these challenges. And we love showing off our books ourselves. So if you want to join, please feel free to do so, and we would love to have you. So while I personally am not a huge fan of the honorable mention, I'm giving an honorable mention this time around only because I have shown this off in one of our previous challenges, and that is my Roscoe exclusive of Peter Parker Spider-Man. This has Vulture that he did in homage to the old man from Family Guy. I don't know why it took me a second to figure out what that was. But once again, I don't technically love honorable mentions, but I've mentioned this before, and I've been trying to show off different covers that I haven't shown before. So I had to at least give this one an honorable mention. So for me, I never really have a straight order for how I do these. I just pick some covers, I put them in a pile, and I show them off to you. This is actually a character that I wanted to incorporate in this, but I couldn't find a cover that I loved. But as I was switching through looking for other stuff, I ended up finding this. I didn't even know I had this, but this is Superboy #2, and this is just kind of an awesome Poison Ivy cover. It's kind of got some negative space variant stuff going on with the leaves and Superboy. Once again, I didn't even know this book was in my collection, but as I was hunting through looking for other covers, I just happened to stumble across it, and I really loved what it was. So this is a new book of a villain that I really don't know too much about, but I play the game Injustice 2 on my mobile device, and this is a character I used a lot, and it's Atrocitus. This is Final Crisis, Rage of the Red Lantern, #1. I love this cover. I just love that Hal Jordan here is beat up. Atrocitus is spitting blood out of his mouth while laying in a pool of blood. This isn't probably the craziest cover I own, but this is a pretty sweet cover for a villain that I personally am not super familiar with, but I really love it. This is also the first appearance of Daxstar, which is the little Red Lantern cat, which is super cool. So fun facts. So this is a character I have liked for a very long period of time. I think I've shown this book off in some of my reels before, but I've never actually talked about it in one of these. And this is, it's a pretty simple cover, but this is Darth Maul #1. I love Darth Maul as a villain. As a kid, seeing that double lightsaber was fantastic. So I had to include this one. It's just kind of a very simple modern take of a cover, which I kind of like. And hey, we got back-to-back red villains. So one of the biggest issues I kind of had when I was coming up with my list for this one was, do I take covers with villains that I love, or do I take covers that have villains on them that I love the cover for? And it was kind of hard to distinguish, do I need to have some villains that I love, or do I just need villains with awesome covers? Well, this one is one that definitely highlights both of that. And this is Flash number 46. This is from the Joshua Williamson run. This is a cover by Francesco Mattina. And yeah, it's just a fantastic reverse Flash cover. And yeah, I just love how it is. I mean, this is one of those covers where this entire run, I think I've been getting the A cover for, but when it came to issue 46, I went and grabbed the B cover because this one was too awesome not to grab. So if you've been following my goals that I had throughout this year, this is one of the books that I had on my list. And big shout out to my friend Steven Hayner. If you are not following him on Instagram, I will have his information down below. He is a great person that I've known for a while now, that we actually met from a Facebook group of comics, and we have been talking comics ever since. And I am very thankful because he had this book in his collection and he was willing to pass it up to me. So thank you very much. And this is The Vengeance of Bane, issue number 1. I just love this. Bane was kind of such a badass, and even for like a 90s cover, I feel like this is such a crazy, awesome cover. I love Bane just holding the guy in there as Batman sitting in the background. I mean, I just recently had started reading Nightfall, and it was a ton of fun, and I just had to include this cover because I think it's just a classic Batman cover. I think I could have made this entire list of just Batman covers and Batman villains, but I wanted to stray away from that, but I could not include this cover. And once again, this is maybe more of a controversial villain as to what people thought about them when it really came down to their story. But regardless, this is one awesome cover, and this is Venom number 27. We got Null. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. This one is in a little bit of Marlar, so it is going to be a little bit harder to pick up, but I just think this is such a fantastic Null cover. Null had so many great covers that, even though he might have been a flop when it came to like what actually happened in the King of Black storyline, I really think that you could probably fill a top 10 list of just fantastic Null covers. I know I was actually thinking about putting the Peach Momoko one in, but when I had these two next to each other, I had to go with this one. We've had a lot of superheroes, or at least DC and Marvel books, but I had to stray away from it, and I went with this cover. It is 180 of The Walking Dead. This is the Alpha cover. They made a line of these covers. The Walking Dead actually didn't have a lot of variant covers, same with like Saga. They didn't have a lot of A and B covers. They just did the A covers, and when this line came out, I made sure that I grabbed both the A cover and the B cover because these were so fantastic. There was a Governor one that I really enjoyed too, but the Alpha one is just so scary and spooky. If you do not know about Alpha from The Walking Dead, she was the leader of a group of people that wore like dead people's skin so that they could essentially walk with the zombies. And yeah, this is just such a haunting cover to me that I had to include it, and it was my favorite of these awesome headshot variants from The Walking Dead. This might be one of the weirdest books that I own in my collection, but I had to add another Star Wars character in here, and we have General Grievous. I think this is a Turkish variant of Star Wars. I don't even know what issue it is, but I got weird on Whatnot and ended up picking this one up, so I had to show it off. As I said, as a kid, I remember that first time that I saw Darth Maul with the 2 lightsabers, but then a few episodes later, when you see General Grievous with 4 lightsabers, what's cooler than 2? 4. So I had to show that cover just to kind of add that in and add in a little bit more Star Wars out there, and it's a Turkish variant. So I told myself I was going to make a 10 villain cover challenge, and I was not going to include this villain. But here I am including this villain, and that is the Joker. We've got this is part of Death in the Family. This is Batman issue number 13. I love this. This is a die cut, so you can see the eyes out, and like around here is the face. I really liked this iteration of the Joker when he cuts his own face off and kind of plays around with it. This one also has a signature from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo too. But yeah, I really kind of love this, and I just love the simpleness to this cover with the weird pulled back face Joker. Yeah, he cuts his face off, puts it back on. What's creepier than that? All right, and we are to that final villain. This one might be a little weird because I think at some point they were a villain, some point they weren't a villain, but we have that U.S. agent number 1. If you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, he was such an awesome villain in that, and I just love this cover because it's kind of like, hey, who is this? Who is not this? I didn't actually read the story when it was coming out, but I love that it's this. And my buddy Foxcrown, I won this in one of his mystery boxes. Maybe I'll have the link up here. I said that it was an 8.0 and he got really upset because this is definitely a 9.8. I don't know why I said an 8.0, but it was one of those weird things that I couldn't fix it in post. So I felt like I had to show off a slab and I picked this one just to help him. But yeah, I love that, you know, his face is kind of blacked out. You don't know who he is because this is a bad guy coming out to do something American. So those were my 10 covers with an honorable mention. If you end up liking this idea and you want to do it, please join us. We would love to have you. I will have a playlist down below. We have done a few of these already, so if you have not seen any of them, maybe go to my page. You can check it out. I have a playlist for each and every one of these challenges, and if you'd like to even join one of the older ones, one of the things a lot of people say is like, oh, I missed that one now that you have a new one. You can go back. If you say, hey, I don't like villains, but you want to know what I do like? I like Image Comics. Well, last month we did Image comic covers. If you want to jump in on that one, that's there. We did a couple one in February. If you want to show off some couple covers, feel free to do that. Once again, Bearded made this challenge because he wanted to see people in the community just showing off some of their favorite books. I had such a fun time with it that I was like, hey, let me get in on this with you and help you push out these content. So yeah, please join us. We'd love to have you. If you let us know, we'll enter you into the playlist down below. And yeah, let us know how I did. Did you like these villain covers that I had? Did you hate it? How would you change it? And yeah, if you don't have a YouTube and you still want to join in, let's say you have an IG or a Twitter, just post 10 pictures of your favorite covers out on there, tag us in it, and we'll still would love to see that. As always, I have been Cole, and these were my top 10 villain covers for the Bearded and Cole comic cover challenge. And peace. So that goodbye was a lie. I might have a sleeping baby or a fussy baby in my lap right now, but as I'm editing this video, I realized one of the things we wanted to ask you, the community, is what are some ideas you have for a cover challenge that you think might be cool? We have a few already lined up for the next few months, one of which was actually recommended from somebody already, but if you have a cool idea, leave it in a comment down below. We would love to hear what you have to say, and yeah, maybe we will make your selection one of our Bearded and Cole's comic cover challenge topics for the month. And as always, I'm Cole, and peace.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks, son. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son. Snap